Well, there's a male deer. He's looking around. There were about 3 or 4 females running around here just about, well, moments ago, actually. But I think, actually, it may have been a very young yearling male was chasing after a couple of females, and talk about wishful thinking on his part. He didn't even have, and you could barely even see his, it's like baby's first set of antlers, This guy, on the other hand, has been around for a couple 3 years now, and he's not being cooperative. He's not staying in shot here. Let's see here. We'll walk around a bit. Oh, there you go. Oh, there they go. There they go up the way there. You can see them. Yeah. Huh. Well, they seem to have cleared out. Sometimes this pesky wildlife just won't take direction. They're sort of getting in the height of their mating season right now, the deer. So they get quite active, and they're on the move, and the males are roaming around looking for females to sort of gather together and impregnate, and they're sort of assessing the qualities of which male they're going to let nail them. Does he have a nice car? Good job. Sometimes out here it's almost like walking in on your roommate, finding them having sex with somebody. You go out, basically this back area is, essentially my, room, and as far as I'm concerned, in terms of, it's certainly what the county considers it. They tax me on it. I mean, they say I have a 1,700 square foot house. I have no such thing. But they count the square footage of the deck. It's kind of like the old hearth taxes and types of window taxes, that they used to have back in the 18th century in various countries. My, how did we get there? So, some of these guys may wander back here while I'm talking, maybe not, probably not. Well, today is November 30th, November 30th, 2014, around 2 in the afternoon, Eastern Time. And it's, of course, November 30th is St. Andrew's Day, and of course, this also, happens to be the first Sunday in Advent, which is, along with Lent, one of my two very favorite liturgical seasons. Well, that and Holy Week. But that's actually technically part of Lent up until Easter Sunday. Of course, a little bit of a bittersweet service. We did a single service with youth lay readers. In this case, there was let's see, about I think he's an 11-year-old guy, and then his brother who's like 9 years old, and they read. Both these guys have been acolyting for many years. Their grandfather actually is the Bishop of Maine, the Episcopal Bishop of Maine. And their dad is our senior warden, and his wife used to be our parish administrator, but she's now teaching at a school up north of here, a high school. Well, and our senior warden also teaches at the same high school, I think. Well, maybe it's the same school system anyway. Great people, great kids. The older boy basically did it pretty much word perfect, but and he didn't go all that fast like a lot of these kids do when they read. Now his younger brother, he lost his place in the service book briefly, but soon recovered. I mean, that's easy enough to do. I've more or less done it. Lost my place three times up there, but I've gone over the material enough that I just sort of keep going by, having almost essentially memorized it till I actually find myself again. I mean, with these glasses, and, the bifocals and all that. Some years, depending on the particular group of youth you have, I mean, some of these things can be disasters, but it wasn't that today. It worked out very well. And then one of the college age, well, she's not a kid anymore, she's a young woman, very much a young woman. She acolyted and led the prayers. So it worked. Plus we sang just, our regular organist was sick, unfortunately, but then, unfortunately our regular organist was sick, but fortunately we had our replacement organist was the guy that had done it the year prior to our current organist. And wow, he just really unleashes that organ we have, and it is just magnificent. Plus we did a lot of what I call crowd pleasers. Lo, he comes with clouds descending. Rejoice, rejoice, believers. Watchmen tell us of the night. Come thou long expected Jesus. And hail to the Lord's anointed. Wow, you couldn't ask for a better program than that. Plus we also just sort of, for the heck of it, sang a verse of O Come, Emmanuel when we lighted when they lit the Advent candle, or first candle on the Advent wreath. So I'm certainly glad I was able to make it up there. I had kind of considered not going, but that would be a very weaselly thing to do. Or to not do. Of course, our rector insisted I give him a hug, which always makes me feel conflicted. Not because he's leaving. I mean, the man's made his decision, and that's, he's got to do what's best for him and his family, and him and his relationship to God, obviously. I don't like. For me, a hug is, sends off all sorts of hormonal signals, as I've said previously. So it was good. It was great. Very nice little coffee hour afterwards. Well, for me, more of a couple of crackers and cheese and some bell pepper hour. Well, 15 minutes. Heard some news about various people who were sick or now unsick. Fortunately, thanks be to God. So, got home here. I'm toying with the idea of maybe doing some dishes. Well, yeah, dishes. Apparently, I had somehow I put, well, not somehow. I went over and I turned the stove on last night and heated up some food, and one thing led to another, and then it turned out, as these cooking shows say, there had been a lot of caramelization. Caramelization. So I'm attempting to decaramelize the bottom of this pan using, of course, Dawn dishwashing liquid and sodium carbonate, washing soda. We shall see, as I like to say. Actually, the stuff didn't taste too bad. It tasted strangely good. It's not like, it wasn't like eating a piece of, essentially burnt meat. So I'm going to be finishing that up tonight for supper. I'm grateful I have it. Oh, it's nice. I mean, it's 56 degrees. We're going to get a little rain here, they say. It certainly acts like it. The wind was out of the southwest this morning, and now it's swung around out of the southeast. I mean, you can sort of almost feel a little mist on you. But nothing overt yet. So tomorrow is December 1st, and so I'll do the prayer list for December. And actually then I will celebrate my the second anniversary of being on YouTube, because my very first video went up on December 1st, 2012. Boy, a lot's happened since then. It's been a lot of fun. I had no idea I'd get this involved in it. Not at all. It's just, it's been a really fun ride so far, and hopefully will continue to be. If it ever stops being a fun ride, I'll just stop doing it. But I can't see that happening, really. So, no further deer having appeared here. Can't be a voyeur today to the intimate life of this ungulate quadruped. I'm going to say bye-bye, YouTubers. Well, as luck would have it, just after I made that last little clip, here come here comes the larger antlered male stalking around. And also, interestingly, another male also with antlers who's probably a year younger than this fella. So you probably got about a 4-year-old male and a 3-year-old male. And there are a couple of females that were sort of, leaping about up in my front field. I mean, not down on the bank, but they'd come up the bank and were out in the front field, but then they would come zooming back down and go back down the bank and then zoom back up, and interestingly, the younger male followed these two, and the older male basically stayed put. And excuse me, sure enough, these two females then went back down to the creek bank where the older male was, and they were kind of they weren't, they didn't go right up to him, but they sort of lured him, into chasing after them. So maybe love is in the air. I got thinking about, walking in. I said walking in on like your roommate having sex or something. And when this good friend of mine and I were traveling around, we spent a month in Great Britain and we spent a month in, the mainland proper. And where did this tiresome young woman appear? I think she latched onto us in Vienna. No, Salzburg. She latched onto us in Salzburg. Well, latched onto him in Salzburg. And of course, she had a Euro pass, same thing as we did. I mean, she's going to, if she happens to be on the same train, she happens to be on the same train, and going to the same itinerary, more or less. Excuse me. But my friend and I had decided we wanted to see Berchtesgaden, the eagle's nest, on the top of the mountain there, Hitler's little lair, I can't remember the German name for it. But yeah, there've been a lot of photographs and documentaries that show this place, and they've maintained it as a tourist attraction and an historic site. And you start down at the bottom of the mountain and you ride this long winding road in a bus up to the top, and then of course you take the tunnel in, and then you take the elevator up to the center of the mountain to this place. And when you first go up, when you first see the place, it looks almost like it's made out of cinder block, but it's not. It's made out of gray granite blocks, very large gray granite blocks. And of course, well, at that time, this is 1971. There was a restaurant and a gift shop. Get your Hitler House keychain. We didn't buy any food or trinkets. But what we did do is walk around, see the place, and admire the view. I mean, my word! I mean, it's magnificent view. And but so then we came back down, and and this girl is still down at the bottom of the mountain waiting for us. I thought maybe she'd gone away. I thought, oh, well, by the time we get back there, she'll have gone away. No. So, it's getting dark. It's getting night. So we had to sleep somewhere. So we slept out a lot actually. And fortunately, we only had 2 days of rain that entire summer. That where we happened to be at any given time. And so we went into a churchyard, fairly big churchyard too, there in Berchtesgaden, and sort of wadded ourselves together in our blankets and stuff, and slept the night. And then in the morning, and this actually kind of ties in with the deer. In the morning, you had this misty fog, sort of going, up and down the hillsides, and it wasn't like a complete blanket fog, It was just a mist that was about, maybe about 10 feet high, 7, 8 feet high, sort of floating around. And in and out of this fog were wandering a bunch of deer. It was really wonderful. It almost made up for the fact that I had to be beset by this young woman traveling with us, having attached herself to us. Well, so next stop we went to Munich, and damned if she didn't want to stay in our hotel room. We actually did take a hotel room there in Munich. Well, I mean, hell, if she's chipping in to pay for it, I don't care. I mean, I was annoyed with her being around, but anything to save some money, as you've heard me say before. So we walked around Munich, and actually we walked out. I mean, way out to the site of what would be in the 1972 site of the Olympics. And we all know what happened then. But the thing that struck me about Munich, in addition to, well, there's a really neat looking church, were the dildo shops. They had these, and the sign out front says sex shop. Yeah. And in the window, it's like, here's a window display of dildos, butt plugs, cock rings, rubber dolls, sex aids. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe there were some cities in the United States at that time you could see similar things, but this little boy from Southwest Ohio hadn't encountered that before. So, it's time to go to bed, and she was staying in our room, and I guess she was sleeping with my buddy. And I was surprised, he says, well, why don't you just get out of the room for a couple, 3 hours? I thought, what? I want to go to sleep. I've been traipsing around. I woke up in a cold, wet field this morning, and now, we've been traipsing around all day, and now you want me to leave the room? But I did. Well, I gave him 3 hours, and I thought, well, surely, no. When I came back in, they were still sort of pounding away. Give me well, anyway. I went to bed anyway. Screw it. Well, they were screwing. I just was going to go to bed. Well, she sort of wandered off, I think, the next day. So after that, it was, I guess she had a different set of plans where she wanted to go see, and we were then going to make our way to Berlin at that point. See what just a couple of wandering male deer can provoke in my head. That's where the big show is. So on this, this time it really is bye-bye YouTube.